Askreddit thread. What type of people do you hate? People who can't admit that they're wrong. In the same vein, people who feel like an argument has to have a winner and a loser. I've been trying to convince people for years that both sides of an argument may have some sort of validity, and the correct answer may reside somewhere in the middle. Heavens forbid everyone learned something, but, America, left or right. Non-American here. This has nothing to do with America and has everything to do with idiots. Telling someone they're wrong tends to make them defend their opinion even more strongly, because people are idiots. I remember back at my old job, on Fridays mornings, it used to be like only just two of us working the entire place because it was always super dead. And there was this other girl who has completely different views on everything that I wouldn't say hold dear, we just have different political views, and we'd have discussions about them in a very civil manner. It was weirdly not heated or anything. We didn't really agree on anything, but we still had pretty interesting and fun conversations all the time. And I didn't think that was possible. So it's like, yeah, if someone doesn't agree with you on something, it doesn't matter. You can still talk to them, just as long as they're not assholes or an idiot. And she was definitely not. Very smart person. People who remind me of myself. If someone has any of the qualities I'm ashamed of in myself, or reminds me of who I was when I was younger, less mature, I hate them with no exception. Stop reminding me how embarrassing I am, etc. I think a lot of people feel this way without realizing that's why. FYI, Carl Jung calls that aspect of ourselves our shadow. You're already more conscious than most people. If you can come to accept the things you are/were embarrassed about in yourself, easier said than done, you will stop hating other people who share your flaws. You are very close to being able to do this if you want to. This is a dislike I recently discovered. People who complain about free food. In my industry, we get catered food for breakfast, lunch made by our chefs. And no, a person I work with will always find something to complain about, to the point where it's like bringing your own freaking lunch. If all you want to do is complain for half an hour about how Caesar salad doesn't go with the ginger beef you ordered, pick the noodle salad then. God. That seems just like a very annoying person. Anyone who complains more often than not when they speak is generally someone I don't want to be around. I do not like to be around people who complain all the time. Because there are some people who just don't understand conversational tics. And they're really into the be yourself, I don't have to conform to other people. And some of those people like to just complain about stuff. I'm only speaking like this because I know a couple people like that who I'm not friends with, but they're friends with other people that I'm friends with, so I have to tolerate them. And it's really annoying because half of the stuff they talk about is just complaining about something. I was homeless for a bit. Lived in a shelter that provided breakfast and dinner. The amount of complaining that I heard was mind-boggling. What? That is very disheartening. Who complains about free food? To expand on this, people who complain about free anything, like seriously, I grew up ridiculously poor. I loved free shit. That was how I got to eat food sometimes, is because I got it for free from social services. To expand on this, people, I mostly agree with your general statement, but I don't think getting something for free means you can never complain. What if you're hungry and someone gave you a moldy sandwich? Free doesn't always mean it's good. Yeah, some of those food boxes were pretty gross, now that I think about it. But still, some food was better than nothing. Exactly, like loser gamers who complain about free games. I never understood that. At a grocery store I used to work at, they had a Christmas luncheon with the deli/veggie/pastry platters. People would complain that they weren't getting lobster at a mom and pop shop where half the employees were broke themselves. Never thankful. This is just making me mad reading about it. In the way, people. The kind who are completely oblivious of the people around them, both in context of speed, of movement, and general spatial awareness. This is why I only go to the store at, odd hours of the day. I only ever go at night, or, really early in the morning, and never on the weekends, unless it's really late at night on the weekends as well. And never I never use a shopping cart unless I absolutely have to. I can count the amount of times I use a shopping cart on like one hand in a year, if I ever use them at all. If I can't fit it into the little hand basket, then I'm just gonna go without. Just because I really hate people who are always in the way. Zigzag walkers. Park the cart on the side of the aisle, stand on the other side, ponder a grocery shelf. People walking through the mall with their head turned to the side, completely oblivious that they're walking into. People who think they should board the elevator / transit before the other people get off. People that don't yield. Fuck you, we'll walk 3 abreast down the sidewalk. You don't even get a shoulder turn, you can walk in the gutter. Yeah, I hate those sort of people. I just keep walking, look off into the distance with a slight smile on my face and crazy eyes. They always move. People who can't put their carts back in the fucking cart corral. Thanks for the gold. Hopefully this will show people how important it is to take the damn carts back to where they belong. Are you that guy at Walmart who pushes the carts back to the cart corral in the long ass line? You know, the thing is, I never knew this was a problem until I started reading Askreddit threads, because this gets mentioned all the time. Because the thing is, at my old job, they would have you like just do busy work, and usually there wasn't anything to do sometimes. So if there was like the slightest bit of extra work we could do, like, you know, the tables were a little dirty, I can go clean those up. It was happy because I was able to actually do something, because I spent a lot of my time just straight up not doing anything at certain parts of the day. And I didn't really mind cleaning up after other people because it gave me something to do. And then I hear people complain all the time about the shopping cart things, and I was like, but that's not really a big deal. All you do is go around the parking lot and pick up shopping carts. And if I was working a low minimum wage job that would have to do that, I wouldn't complain about it. But, you know, that's because that's what you're hired to do. But I started actually pushing the shopping cart into the cart corral because Reddit complained about it so much. Even though I'd never done that before, just because I don't really see what the big deal is. You get paid to do it, and it probably doesn't take that long, but I guess it is hot outside when you do it, so I don't know how that works. I just assumed it was like my minimum wage job, where I was happy to actually be able to do stuff. Let's see. Wait. I hate when a person picks something up on the store, walks halfway across the store, then decides that he or she doesn't want it and just leaves it in a random shelf. Just put it back where you got it from. No, you aren't helping someone keep their job. They're going to have their job either way. All you're doing is making them work more and have less free time because they're running around putting away stuff that you're too lazy to put back. It frustrates me so much, and I'm not even sure why, because I've never had that as a job before. I have this job. The worst is when people do it right in front of me. If you don't want it, put it where it goes, at least give it to me. A friend of mine says, if it's fair, I'll just leave it in the parking lot. I call him lazy ass all the time. If it's far, I'll just leave it in the parking lot. No. People who never take responsibility for their actions. People who have no ability to listen. People who never let a person really have their say. They may let the other person speak, but they don't care or take in what they say. They have their own opinion, and that's it. They don't care what the others say. Ugh, jog, an ugly person. What? Some people listen, other people just wait for the opportunity to talk. You see, this is me. I just wait for my opportunity to talk, but I also pretend to be a person who listens. And I think I've gotten quite good at it, because of the few friends I do have, they all like me. Even though I really just like talking about myself. What did you say? I wasn't listening. Closed-minded and ignorant while being overly vocal about their opinions. So, Reddit is bad, but I've met worse in real life. Unfortunately, you can't just move on if they're in your face and want to argue. Sure you can. Mate, you can scream all you want, but I'm not going to respond to you, and you're not just going to look like an ass. Then if they carry on and you keep level face until they fizzle out or take a swing at you, if they take a swing at you, you hit them in the dick and then go for the eyes. It's a win-win. Reddit is a haven compared to the shit I grew up with. At least here, there's people on your side. You're not wrong just for being you. Being the youngest in my family, I'm the scapegoat, and this is my favorite thing about Reddit. I'm never wrong on Reddit for being me. I'm only wrong when I'm actually wrong. Seems like you guys grew up in crappy families. People who ask questions and then cut you off while you're answering to say something else and won't let you finish. People who don't use their turn signals. Generally bad drivers who think they're great drivers. What kind of mindset do you have to be in not to use a turn signal? My partner thinks I'm a bad driver because I drive safely, like a moderately fast but experienced grandma. Like, WTF, he whips around, cuts people off, is always 10 miles over the speed limit. I'm a good driver because I find the space I want and take it. Who needs turn signals? People just ignore them anyway. People who don't signal piss me off beyond belief. You're literally putting people's lives at risk when you jerk into someone's lane without a warning. So, this is not really something that's a huge deal where I live. I used to drive out on the road and the highway all the time, every day. And generally as a whole, 99% of people use their turn signals. The only difference is when you're like in back roads and in parking lots, people tend to be really lax with them. And that's fine. As long as it's in areas that you can expect, it's not really a big deal. People who post that stuff on Facebook, insert inspirational bullshit, and if you don't respond this in X hours, you'll have bad luck for 5 years, / Jesus will come and take your head. I bet 99% of you won't repost this. Damn right I won't. Slow walkers. Ugh. This was a big problem at school. Not really a big problem anymore, though. People who walk side by side on the sidewalk. See you coming the opposite direction, refuse to get behind their friends so you can pass by on the sidewalk. Ugh. Close talkers. Dude, this lady yelled at me the other day for walking slow downtown. She was like, I gotta get home, and here you are walking slow, bitch. It took me by surprise. Good for her. Ain't nobody got time for your slow walking. People who cut in line. You would like the movie Super 2010. Oh, no cuts. No cuts. And then he gets a wrench and hits him in the face. God, I love that film, but it gets me right in the feels every time. I fantasize about the whole masked vigilante justice deal, but obviously it's risky and difficult. And also the person in Super was kind of nuts. Have you seen God Bless America 2012? Now that is a movie. Love that movie. No one butts in line. Oh, Super is on Netflix. I totally, highly suggest watching it. It has Dwight from The Office as the main character. It's funny. Passive-aggressive people who are also afraid of confrontation. So they're snarky, rude, say the awful passive-aggressive shit and give the dirty looks. But then when you try to ask what's wrong or comfort them about it, they either refuse to talk to you or just nothing wrongs. No, nothing is wrong. You're fine. I'm not mad. Passive-aggressive people who are also afraid of confrontation. Oh my god. I know someone like this. Generally, I avoid people like this, but sometimes you can't. Whew. Moral of the story. No matter what type of person you are, someone hates you just for being yourself. Yep. You can be the ripest, juiciest peach in the world, and there's still going to be somebody who hates peaches. I don't like peaches. People who will tailgate me in the left lane, but when I move over to the right lane to let them by, they won't pass. In a similar vein, people who drive slowly, and when you go to pass them, speed up to match your speed. I usually wait a few seconds to see if they slow back down, and if they don't, I speed up and roar off. Smug people. What's that? I can't hear you from my high horse. Smug pregnant women that act like being pregnant just makes them better than everyone else. And based on that, people that think they're better than other people based on music taste or movie preferences. I didn't know smug pregnant woman was a thing. Why would being pregnant make you better than everyone? Would you like The Pregnant Women Are Smug by Garfunkel and Oates? This never goes away, it just turns into As a Mother. Never been there, but I hear /music tends to act extremely superior based on music preferences. To piggyback on this, I'm pregnant, 1 month away from due date, and that was my biggest fear, to turn into one of those women. Then I realized, nope, you just have to be an obnoxious person in the first place to turn into an obnoxious pregnant woman and then obnoxious mom. Pregnancy is just the excuse some people use to act like they are doing something ridiculously amazing. Yes, it's hard and intense, but it's literally something billions upon billions of people do all the time, so you're not fucking special. I didn't even think people thought pregnancy was special. I always thought it was just something to avoid because being pregnant would suck. Having a kid is terrible. Kids are the worst. I have one of those smug pregnant women on my Facebook friends right now. She is seriously using her pregnancy to be a bigger cunt than she already was. She posted something on Facebook one day, nothing important, and someone calmly disagreed with her, and then she typed a fucking page in response and ended it with something along the lines of, "I thought you were a decent person, but apparently I was wrong because you're a piece of shit." She also has made multiple posts like, "I don't give a fuck what anyone says," and posts like, "I'm a crazy bitch." Yeah, you are. I could go on and on about this cut. Oh, that's funny. My best friend, girlfriend, is pregnant at the moment, and other than the mention from time to time, you'd have no idea. It's so refreshing to know parents-to-be who aren't smug assholes. I'm Scottish, and I get so mad when I see someone on Reddit mention Scotland, and all these fucking idiots start typing in absurd Scottish accents to try to prove to everyone how Scottish they are. Just type like a normal fucking person. Fucking Scots ruin Scotland. People who try to look cool by acting better than others or trying to one-up everyone. You don't look cool. You look like an ass. In defense of the one-uppers out there, when I hear a story, I actually listen. Oftentimes it reminds me of a story related to one you are telling. Because we were having a conversation and they go both ways, I have to respond with something eventually. I think my story has merit and you might appreciate it or find it funny or whatever, so I tell my story. I make an effort not to interrupt your story. These people make us look bad. With most stories, there isn't really a good follow-up question, so the alternative would be saying, "Yeah, that's pretty funny, crazy / adjective related to the story," and then the conversation winds down. It's not really one-upping someone, that's just having a normal conversation. People who say, "We should hang out," and never follows up with it. Fake-ass people. Ugh. You purged my social media a couple months back when I realized it's populated by those people, and people you don't even talk to. This has been an issue for me lately, and I hate it. Don't say it if you don't mean it. I try to check on dates, and nothing. It drives me nuts. Maybe they want you to put a little effort forth too? No, it's everyone else's fault. People that are assholes just for the same of being assholes. Just for the sake of being assholes. Like, some people have quirks that makes them seem assholey, but I can tolerate that. It's the people that go out and look for fights, call people names that have done nothing to deserve it, and are just generally unpleasant person to be around. People who insult you, but when you call them on it, they say it was just a joke. I'm not laughing, asshole. Oh, you mean people that post videos on YouTube? It's just a prank, bro. No, narcissist. I live with one, so I have to agree with you. Evil, difficult people to live with. Yeah, but that's a personality disorder. It's not really their fault. But yeah, you can still hate them. Nothing against that. I know it's like they can't help it, like autism or something, but I don't know if I was capable of real hate until I got to know a narcissist. The level of near psychopathic cruelty and vicious selfishness from that person grew honest hatred in me and I didn't know was there. So pretty much everyone these days, selfie time. Blah, selfies have been going on for centuries. Ever heard of the self-portrait? I see them on the time on Visage Book. Weeaboos. I didn't mean anime lovers, but more like this. Oh, I probably can't show this video. No life, no waifu, no laifu. I used to think that people were unfairly hating on weeaboos. Then I met one. Somewhere there is a line, and weeaboos cross it. I mean, like, if you're at a convention, sure, dress up, it's fun. But in class, in high school, I was into anime, and I was technically part of the anime club because I had a friend who was in it. I never actually went, though, because I met the people who were in that club, and they were every single one of them fit a stereotypical weeaboo to a T. And I was like, I am not going to hang out with obnoxious people like this. It's not that everyone who watches anime is weeaboos. It's just generally the type of people who would become weeaboos get into hobbies that only require one person. And I don't know. It's just, it attracts those kinds of people. But there's also normal people who do that stuff too. Makes us anime fans look bad. One of them in my high school came to class dressed up in a generic schoolgirl uniform. I was embarrassed from a distance. I don't know. I really want to cosplay as Madoka someday. When I moved into my dorm from freshman year of college, one of the girls showed up at the initial floor meeting in full Sailor Moon cosplay gear. It was intense. The thing is, at the right time and place, a cosplay like that would be pretty cool. But casually wearing it is kind of weird. Some kids at my school wear like necklaces and bracelets from anime. It's nothing to me, just a symbol. But some run like they are in Naruto, wearing like mask and straight contact lenses, wear costumes. Some have tails because Dragon Ball. I don't watch it, so I don't know the reference. Tails is not a dragon. No, it is. Oh man, that was like a Dragon Ball thing from. I totally forgot that Goku used to have a tail. I immediately thought of foxtails that some weeaboos wear. Like, I don't really care about them, but I get mad when they wonder why people bully them. Maybe coming to school dressed like Sailor Moon is why people bully. I feel bad for them and all, but they're clueless as to why people rip on them. Yeah, they're just a special kind of person. If they weren't into anime, they'd be into something else weird, like Sonic or Sonichu. Or, what's that dude's name? Chris Chan. Although he is... Yeah. I thought about joining my university's anime club, so I joined the Facebook page. There was enough to make me not want to go to any other meetings. Not to mention the president, whom my girlfriend and I refer to Queen Weeaboo, if that tells you anything. Oh, I think I get that. There's like a special sect of nerd culture. It's not specific to anime, but in video games too, where there'll be one girl, and since girls are very rare in those kinds of circles, they'll be like the queen of the nerds, and the guys will bend over backwards to do anything for them because they're generally weird people. And weird guys tend to do anything a pretty girl tells them to. I was picturing a neckbeard / dude. Yeah, there's a few girls in my school that are like that, and all the dudes are surprisingly not neckbeards or even overweight. On one hand, sure, it looks silly. On the other hand, it makes them happy. It doesn't hurt anyone, turns away people incompatible to the lifestyle and attract those as deeply into it as they are. Also, many of the best things in life are silly. That said, if you go to a con, you should be allowed to smack the girls who admit their ear-bleeding, inducing screeches when they find the yaoi. We cosplay cowboys so much in regular society that no one bats an eye. Hey, I guess you're right. I'm not usually judgmental asshole, but when I see something that strange, I can't help it. I actually met one of the female weebs while hanging out with a mutual friend of hers, and she's pretty cool and seemingly normal away from her other friends. Thanks for enlightening me, so to speak. Okay, I think that's enough hate on weeaboos, considering I call myself one sarcastically all the time. People who talk a lot of shit about other people but act like they're friends to their face. Major no-no. So, all female relationships. 28-year-old mouth breeders who have never had a real job don't get a driver's license and blame their shitty life on other people. Fuck you, Alan. My name is Alan. Are you 28 years old, resident of the United States, who's never paid me back for a $300 gas bill, stank up my house, never cleaned anything ever, pissed in bottles, accused me of a serious crime, and tried to break my girlfriend and I up on multiple occasions? Probably not me. Fuck that guy for bringing shame to the name, though. I understand the job thing, but what's wrong with not having a driver's license? It's not that not having one is bad. I know people who don't have them and take the bus, but it's when you won't get one and have to rely on everyone else to get your lazy ass around. Take a bus or go to the DMV and take the test. This is my cousin. She is a lazy piece of shit and bitches constantly about how no one in the family help her and her life is so horrible. She's an ungrateful and unbelievably stupid. She's 26 and has never been able to hold a wage-paying job. My dad gave her an old truck he had because she didn't have a working vehicle, and I guarantee she bitched about it. Her dad was willing to pay for her to go to school for childcare, and she flunked out. She was with some guy with an extremely autistic kid who has beat the shit out of her multiple times, and now she's pregnant by that stupid fuck. What's a real job? Normally assume this to mean people who only work in short bursts rather than anything long term. Only doing odd jobs that pay cash rather than being employed or being unsuccessfully self-employed doing something bizarre and stupid. Knew a guy who didn't want to get a job, so he started a business finding cats. Note, they're not specifically lost cats. That wouldn't be sustainable, as not enough people lose their cats. Even he realized that. No, he'd go and just collect random fucking cats and take them back to the owners expecting to get paid. Oh, that's funny. Holy fuck, I know so many gay guys like that here in Florida. Only they range from 18 to 35. No car, no job at all. No license, no education. Many didn't even graduate elementary school. Literally nothing going on in their lives except being cute and waiting for their sugar daddy to come along and fund their non-contributingness for the rest of their lives. Fucking annoying. Oh, holy shit. I know so many people who do this. Reddit says neckbeards aren't common in real life, but they're either lying, in denial, or live in some sort of paradise. Those fuckers are everywhere. What kind of position are you in that you meet neckbeards all the time? If they're mouth breathing, have never had a real job, etc., some of their misfortune could be attributed to other people. A mother who drank, smoked, or did drugs while pregnant, for example. Hello, tortilla heads. People who answer questions on Askreddit but don't upvote the question. You remind me to go back and upvote. Thanks. Oh, I do that sometimes. People who hold themselves to a higher standard and talk down to someone of their beliefs, whether it's Christian, saying stuff to an atheist, or vice versa. People need to stop giving a fuck about what other people do unless it's hurting someone why they don't care. People who are rude to waitresses, summer people. These assholes build their cabins and stay there for 2 or 3 months out of the year, treat us like dirt, and don't want to see cell phone towers, so constantly my town is in the stone age of cell service. Go back to the city, please. Extremists. Rich suburban white boys who thinks they're all gangstas. Gossip. More than likely what they're telling you about someone else isn't true, and usually I'm never going to be friends with a gossip because I will always wonder what sort of rumor or what sort of secrets they will be spreading about me. People that always complain about their lives but do nothing to improve them. The extremes of the sensitivity scale. Extremely sensitive people and extremely insensitive people. Your sense of humor isn't for me, but on the flip side, stop finding ways to be a victim. Stop and think for a damn second, then don't speak. People who post on Facebook about working out or drinking their shitty milkshake sludge. I feel so great now that I'm doing me and getting into shape. You should totally buy this crap from me because I want to profit from our friendship. I just want to motivate you, share positivity, and sweat. Also, why can't everyone too poop rainbows like me? The worst possible quality that a person can have is the inability to adapt to an unexpected situation. Oh, plans changed last second? Let's stand around and complain for an hour instead of accepting it moving forward to fix the issue at hand. Oh, that's funny. People who make snide comments and are passive-aggressive. If you don't have the guts to say something directly, then don't say it at all. Everyone. People who push agendas with bullshit cover of, I'm just starting the facts / using free speech. It's like, come off it. You and your copy pastas aren't fooling anyone. People that are obsessed with horses. If you date a horse person, you're their third priority. It goes their horse, their daddy's money, you. Are you in the 3rd grade? No, are you? They're just some girls who really like horses. Instagram users who abuse hashtags like eating bacon /food /instant food /glorious day /bacon /hates even hate veggies breakfast fat Kevin. People who make rake jokes in general, but especially in front of crowds of people they've only just met. I mean, okay, you might be that kind of edgy person who doesn't feel the need to filter anything you have. No idea whether someone you're talking to has been raped or has had someone close to them going through it. It's just really shitty to joke about something that can ruin a person's life. If you feel the need to be a crappy person like that, then at least save the jokes for when people who have made it really clear they're comfortable, and definitely do not make them in the workplace. People who play the victim constantly. People who complain about welfare recipients at every chance they get. Ooh, this is a long-ass video. I tried to, speed up at the end, but... Okay, that's it. This one's almost, half an hour long.